Good afternoon, guys. Hey, I had a great day here in St. Louis. If you saw the post earlier, I was able to be the volunteer substitute for my son's class today. So normally I don't get too much contact with him during the week. And so any chance I get to spend some time with him, I just absolutely love. And to be able to be the substitute teacher for his class was just absolutely cool. But home now and wanted to shoot a real quick message out to everybody. I think everybody's been following some of my political posts and rants, if you will, about some of the things that are going on at the federal level. But what I want to talk about right now is something that every single person needs to sit up and pay attention to. So I don't care if you own a gun or not, this will affect you in some way or someone you know. Now, I don't have any guns. Mine got lost in the lake somehow, and I don't have any. And I know some of my friends had the same experience. But right now, the talk is of Biden signing this executive order for red flag laws. Now, if you don't know what a red flag law is, you need to really sit up and pay attention, because this should absolutely scare the you-know-what out of you. Red flag laws basically allow anyone to make an anonymous accusation that you're a threat to yourself, a threat to your family, or a threat to anyone in the community, or they think that you could be. And as a result, law enforcement can show up at your house. And from what I'm hearing, one of the things they're talking about is a no-knock order, which is pretty shocking, because for the last few years we heard, and especially this past year, about the Breonna Taylor situation, where there was they went in with a no-knock situation, and yet they're talking about doing that all across the country. And this isn't something that's proven in court. This is on an allegation and something that you're not allowed to even know about. Now, for those of you not in the shared parenting community, let me tell you a little something here. Those of us in the shared parenting community, most of you know I started an organization called Americans for Equal Shared Parenting. And I encourage you to follow that page on Facebook, Americans for Equal Shared Parenting. But in the shared parenting community, there's something known as the silver bullet, where someone can make a mere allegation to get the upper hand in a custody battle after a divorce or separation. And they call it silver bullet because it's used all the time. It is rampant in the shared parenting community. It's done ex parte. So you don't know, you're not allowed to defend yourself. Somebody makes an allegation. How you doing, Pam? But somebody makes an allegation about you, and your whole life is turned upside down. It almost happened to me. If Levi was not able to articulate that the whole situation was orchestrated, most of you know, I substitute teach at Levi's school, and I've been doing it for 6 years now. I've taught Sunday school at my son's at our church for my son for, I think 8 years now. I would have been banned from doing all of that stuff if Levi had not been able to articulate that something had been totally orchestrated. And when they found out it was orchestrated, I said, so what's going to happen to the other party? They said nothing. In the family court arena, somebody is allowed to make an accusation that could literally ruin your life. And when it's proven to be untrue, and more importantly, proven that it was such a lie that it was orchestrated, and nothing happens to the other party. And I see my buddy Pedro Morrison on here. Yes, it's happened. It's rampant. Matter of fact, when I talked to the CPS worker, he told me flat out, he said, in about 9 out of every 10 cases, if there's a custody battle that they're in the middle of, I know about 9 out of 10 times the allegations are going to be false. They're a lie, a false allegation used to get the upper hand in a custody battle. Now, the sad part about that is, what about the 1 out of 10 that are either slipping through the cracks or they're not believed because of all the false allegations? Well, guys, I'll tell you what, if you own a gun, you need to sit up and pay attention. But even if you don't, I don't care, because this could still be used against you. This executive order that is getting ready to be signed by President Biden literally has the power to where someone can make an anonymous phone call. So you don't know who it is. You don't even know the call was made. The police can show up at your house with a no-knock order, rummage through all your stuff to find any guns you have, take them away from you, and I'll tell you what, it doesn't end there. Because let me tell you, in custody battles, that's going to be used rampantly. And whoever made the false allegation, okay, because all they have to say is they think that you're a threat to yourself. And you're not able to, there is no presumption of innocence. You're presumed guilty at that point. And you have to prove the negative at that point. But let me tell you what's probably going to happen. Whoever made the allegation is probably going to have a private detective camped outside your house waiting to take film, pictures, and video footage that's going to be used in your next custody battle, saying, look at this person, their house was raided by the police. They shouldn't be a parent to their child. But imagine, what could happen at your job too. That same picture is going to be shown to your boss and say, this person is such a threat to themselves. Do you want this person working here? And for over 240 years in this country, there's been a presumption of innocence, that you're innocent until proven guilty. But I'll tell you what, if this red flag executive order is signed and gets implemented, we are no different than Nazi Germany. Anybody can make a false allegation because they don't like you, and all of a sudden your life is absolutely ruined. And a lot of people say, well, but I'm spotless. I have nothing to worry about. I've never done anything wrong. Well, I'll tell you what, a couple years ago, I had never done anything wrong either. But yet my life was almost ruined, absolutely ruined, if my son had not been able to articulate what he had overheard, that the whole thing had been orchestrated. And my life would have been ruined. Now, if the allegation was so serious a few years ago, they would have kept pushing. It was obviously so blatantly false and orchestrated that the CPS worker said, I'm not even going to file anything on this. It's so ridiculous. So I don't care if you think you've got a spotless record. Guys, I'm not a perfect person, but most of you that know me here in St. Louis know. I'm about the dorkiest dweeb that's ever gone to Afton High School. I literally have never touched a beer to this day. That's not an exaggeration. I've never touched a beer. I've never smoked a cigarette. I've never done drugs. I've never done anything like that. Not that I'm perfect. Like I said, I'm not a saint. Okay? But I tell you what, my life almost got turned upside down. So I don't care if you think you've done nothing wrong. If this executive order goes through, your life could be ruined. So I tell you what, every person watching this needs to call your member of Congress and tell them you do not want that executive order going through, and you need to do it fast. Guys, I'm telling you, this could decimate our entire country. There's a lot of things that could decimate it. I mean, my gosh, printing $6 billion of phony money and sending it out and thinking that's not going to cause rapid inflation. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. But I tell you what, these red flag laws, this is scary. And I tell you what, state after state's going to be implementing something like this. So I encourage every single one of you. Oh, there's another one. Yes. Guys, I tell you what, if anybody in the shared parenting community knows this, this happens on a daily basis. With this Americans for Equal Shared Parenting group that I founded, I'm in communication with people. I'm not exaggerating. Every day of the year, false allegations are done in the shared parenting community. So we're used to this thing. But I'll tell you what, this is going to be rampant across the country. So I encourage you, call your member of Congress. Do not allow this to happen. Thanks, guys.